Hi, this is Michael Tallon, and I'm back here with part 3 of my video series on the genetic iron processing disorder, hereditary hemochromatosis. This is the disease that is at the heart of my recent book, Incompatible with Life, a memoir of grave illness, great love, and survival. And if you are interested in reading the introduction to that book, I invite you to my website, michaeljtallon.com, where you can see it and become interested in it and say nice words about it. And hopefully we'll get the thing published in the next year or so. The first two videos that I did provided an overview of hereditary hemochromatosis, which, as I said, is an iron processing disorder. Hemochromatitis, those of us who have it, cannot eliminate dietary iron, and over the course of many decades, the iron atoms build up in our organs, in our livers, pancreas, heart, joints, and glandular system, causing a lot of damage, causing diabetes, cirrhosis, heart disease, arthritis, glandular disorders. The disease can be deadly, as it almost was with me, as you can catch from the title of the book, Incompatible with Life, which is what the doctors said I was for a while there. The second video in the series talked about methods of diagnosis. There are really two ways that you can find out if you have hemochromatosis. You can take an iron profile test, which will measure how much iron is in your system. It's similar to a test that's done for people who are anemic, only rather than having low iron, yours will be very high. And the other is a genetic profile test, which can determine if you have both alleles on the sixth chromosome, and you are predisposed to developing the diseases associated with hereditary hemochromatosis. Both of those tests are really easy to do, and yet they often are not done, which is why I want to talk in this video today about early diagnosis and prevention, and primarily on the responsibility of the individual to intervene, to have the intention to intervene to find out if they have hereditary hemochromatosis, because the sad truth is, nothing against the doctors, but they're not going to check for this unless they believe you're predisposed to it. But it goes routinely misdiagnosed or undiagnosed. So if you are someone who is of Northern European descent, which is a population that is 1 in 300 people of that population have hereditary hemochromatosis. Or if you're someone of Irish lineage, where the numbers are 1 in 80, and you look at your family history, and even if there's no history of hemochromatosis, if you do see a family history of diabetes, of heart disease, of liver cirrhosis, of arthritis, you might want to talk to your doctor and ask them if they could give you this test. It's not an expensive test. The genetic test isn't, nor is the iron profile test. And if your insurance won't cover it, maybe it's worth shelling out the few dollars that it'll cost to get it done. Because again, if you have a family history of these associated diseases but no diagnosis of hereditary hemochromatosis in your ancestry, it may simply be because the doctors missed it in previous generations and are missing it again with you. So if you want to do early diagnosis and prevention of the diseases, and the prevention's very easy once you have the diagnosis, you go through a process. I'll make another video on this called phlebotomy. It's bloodletting, basically like going to the Red Cross and donating blood. I'll explain the mechanisms of that in a subsequent video. But if you want to early detect and then prevent the damage from it, you're going to have to become involved yourself and demand this, or for your children or for someone in your family. But the other thing that I think that those of us who end up developing hemochromatosis need to do, and in some ways this is a more general observation for everyone who's in their 40s or their 50s. One of the strangest things about this experience of mine of falling so gravely ill that I was hours or perhaps minutes or at some point seconds from my own death is that I didn't know I was sick. I started feeling poorly when I was 45 years old, but I didn't know it. I figured it out when I was 48 and I was in the hospital and they told me that I was potentially going to die or would need a heart liver transplant. But at 45, I just started to feel a little bit run down. My energy levels at the gym were lower. Instead of going jogging, I was choosing to go walking. My libido was lagging. And all of those things were happening. And I just kind of thought that I was just getting a little bit older. I thought maybe this was middle age. And with hemochromatosis, but maybe with a lot of the disease processes that start to affect us in middle age, this is the surprising thing. There are no bells and whistles that go off in your brain and tell you that you're getting sick. They start to go off in your body. But after having lived in a body that has aches and pains for decades, we tend to just dismiss that stuff. And if I could download one program into the brains of my friends and family from my experience over these past couple of years with hemochromatosis, if I could download one thought into the minds of people who are my age contemporaries, it would be this: you can be falling very, very gravely ill, and your brain isn't going to tell you that that's true. You need to pay attention to your body. You need to go to the doctor and get your checkups. And as we return to the beginning of this, if you think that you may be predisposed for hemochromatosis or some other disease, be your own best advocate and lean into the intervention. Nobody's going to do this for you, and it's not that the doctors are bad. They're not trained to do it. There's not a protocol of early genetic screening, so you're going to have to advocate for yourself if you have this and you want to figure it out before it's too late. So I'll be back with another video soon, but for now I just wanted to thank you for watching these, and as always, I wanted to say love to you all.